You wanted the best. You've got the best podcast. The hottest podcast in the world. The Chris Voss Show, the preeminent podcast with guests so smart you may experience serious brain bleed. The CEOs, authors, thought leaders, visionaries, and motivators. Get ready. Strap yourself in. Keep your hands, arms, and legs inside the vehicle at all times, because you're about to go on a monster education roller coaster with your brain. Now, here's your host, Chris Voss.
Hi, folks. Voss here from thechrisvossshow.com. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. There are ladies 6 that makes official. Welcome to the big show. As always, for 16 years, 2,800 episodes, we're bringing the Chris Voss Show because we want to improve the world. We want to improve your life. We want to make you better, or else, damn it, you don't want to know what the or else is. Just try to do better. Listen to all 2,800 episodes. It's all up there in the Chris Voss Show. Today, we had an amazing young lady on the show. We're talking about her book and some of her insights and her psychology background, et cetera, et cetera. Her book is entitled Snooki Pie Gets Adopted. Nancy Douglas is on the show with us today. We're going to be talking about her book and of all her insights and details there, and some of the work that she does as well in helping other people in psychology. Welcome to the show, Nancy. How are you?
I am fabulous. Thank you for asking. And how are you?
I am fabulous too. Thank you very much. It's an honor to have you here.
There you go. Here we have two fabulous feeling people. So hopefully we'll accomplish something good.
Well, fabulous, darling. Fabulous. Isn't that from, I think it's from a British show. So give
so
us,
fabulous.
Yeah.
So fabulous.
That's a great, funny show. Those two gals just cracked me up. Give us any .coms or social media, any place on the website or just Amazon that you want people to find out more about you.
I am Nancy U-R-E Douglas, LSW. I am a licensed social worker. I'm also a special ed school social worker. So I've had the opportunity of working with a variety of populations over the years. And I'm not sure, but I think my cat is now joining the show. So I see a tail.
There you go.
Yeah, that's Sissy. So, only me. I mean, this is just, anyway, I knew from the time that I was 5 that my job on this earth was to help people, and pursued my education as a result of that at the University of Pittsburgh, 4 years undergrad, and then 6 years of grad school. And I concentrated on children and youth, although I do substance abuse disorder, alcohol abuse disorder, any sort of mental health problems, autism, anything that I can do to improve a person's mental health is my purpose.
There you go. Let's get into that in a bit. Let's talk about this book some more. Tell us about who Snooki Pie is.
Okay, so I'm English. I have the Bible. It might have come over on the Mayflower, actually, from my English relatives from the 1700s.
Oh, wow.
I don't know. At any rate, I always loved the Queen of England and her Welsh corgis. But at the time, I was doing, besides doing school social work, which included everything from child abuse, suicidality, the prevention of, and whatever else would come up. I then shifted into working at a fabulous adoption agency. But I had worked in the most dangerous parts of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, which is where I am from. And so I thought it would be, so they sent me to work with the birth mothers and the birth fathers, which meant I went to the jail, I went into some pretty rough neighborhoods. And throughout, and then I was on call. And so our agency was the premier adoption agency, and we would pick the babies up when the birth mothers would call when they were 48 hours old, and then they would go into our own temporary foster care. The agency is the Children's Home of Pittsburgh. It's the best adoption agency anywhere. And I would then the birth parents would have to fill out a plethora of information and then choose the adoptive family. So I did a lot of work with open adoption, but in 2018, there wasn't much written about it. So I took it upon myself to utilize the adoption of my Welsh Corgi puppy as a vehicle to explain how adoptive kids feel about being adopted, how adoptive parents might have questions, and how birth parents may feel.
Oh, wow. Well, there you go. That's pretty good. That's a pretty good deal. And so,
the whole, I wanted somebody to write something, and I thought, well, might as well be me. And I had done some motivational speaking and things before, but I just felt that no one was addressing the needs of the kids that were being adopted, the kids that were not being adopted. There's a tremendous number of children that are not being adopted, like 50,000 of them in the United States alone. So I wanted to write a fun book that opened up questions for anybody that was involved in the adoption process, so they could utilize it as a tool to promote discussion.
There you go. And so who's this dog? Is this your personal dog in the story? Tell us about this character.
Well, my dog was Schnuckapi. And it tells the story of my mother, also very English, knew I wanted a Welsh Corgi puppy. She knew for years, and found an ad back when newspapers were really being utilized. She said, everybody in my family calls me Nanny. So, Nanny, she calls me. Oh, I found you a Welsh Corgi puppy. I'm like, no, you didn't. She said, yes, I did. So this was also before GPS. So I called the man, and he said, well, I really need to interview you thoroughly before I will turn my dog over to you. And I'm thinking, I did protective service work for children and youth and foster care work, and I've always worked in this public sector. So my mother and I took off, and we ended up far away, and the man met me, and he interviewed me. Well, it was like, a 3-hour inquisition. He had to make sure that I was going to take proper care of his dog.
Oh, wow.
Because and I'm like, here's what the kids say, bro. As to my granddog says, bro. Bruh, I need a Starbucks. No.
Bruh.
What? So he said that the dog, they are herding dogs, and they've been around for 1,000 years, and they were used in the farms, Scotland, Wales, England, everywhere, to round up the livestock. But they'll also bite your face off for a piece of pizza or a bagel. So they had 2 small children. So Schnooky really liked the bagel. So couldn't take it from him. No No, couldn't take a bagel or a piece of pizza. When my son tried to have like a pizza party downstairs, I heard a lot of screaming from the girls, and it wasn't good. Oh, yeah, Snooky went down and just helped himself to the pizza. So anyway, I get to the fella's house and I see this puppy running down the hill with 2 big Rottweilers, and I'm like, there's my dog. And I had an older dog at the time named Stella from, Tennessee Williams, streetcar named Desire, Stella.
Oh.
And I wanted to yell Stella, so I did, which gives you some insight into my somewhat quirky personality. But at any rate, I saw the dog, went through the Inquisition, and he finally decided that he would give me the dog. I mean, I had to pay a lot of money for it, but it was the pedigree. So I'm like, okay. Stella was a rescued dog, which really made my late husband very unhappy that I went and got that dog without his permission.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't care.
Oh.
He said, that sounds like a big dog. I said, no, it's supposed to be 35 pounds. It said on the paper, nice dog. And he said, that sounds big. Well, Stella grew to be about 90 pounds. So they lied on the paper. Yeah. So I had to get him to help me. And he would always remind me, you said it was supposed to be a small dog. I said, well, it's a nice dog. So anyway.
It's a nice dog.
So anyway, she was a wonderful dog. My dog, my son, Bailey Anderson, Douglas, loved this dog, Stella. So I bring this dog home, and the fella tells me the dog's named Rocky. And I'm like, this dog is not a Rocky at all.
He's not a Rocky.
Not at all. I looked at the dog and I had to think about it for long. No, not a Rocky at all. At all. Well, it came to me one day. I said, this is going to be Schnuckapai. And my mother said, where'd you come up with that? And I said, I don't know. But he loved the name. And then one day we had to take the dog to the vet, and the vet yells out this, Mr. Schnook A. Pie, like A was his middle initial. And so Schnuckapai stuck. And so he became the greatest dog ever. But the interviewing process from the fellow who didn't want his toddlers' faces getting snapped by this dog, they do that. Plus, they will chew up whatever fancy shoes or belts or chairs you might have. It doesn't matter. So, they like to chew. Anyway,
they like to chew.
I ended up at the adoption agency. Particularly a bagel. Like he would get a bagel, and I had a dog door, and he would take the bagel in and out of the dog door for 3 days, then hide it underneath the sofa cushion. Yeah, muddy and all. Yeah,
muddy and all.
You couldn't touch the bagel, and I didn't.
Oh, geez. Yeah, you didn't want to touch
muddy and all.
Right?
It didn't matter. No, I didn't. Well, plus I'd get my face bitten off. So I was just like, no, okay, you can have it, Snooky. So yeah.
Now this doesn't look like that big of a dog.
And
go ahead.
Well, that's not him on the cover. The dog ended up becoming like, well, the vet looked at me, and I'm not that big. And she looked at the man I was standing with, and she said, Schnuckapai is the equivalent to a 400-pound man. And I just first, and I was laughing so hard because I don't weigh that much, and the other guy was kind of heavy. So, at any rate, well, Snooky was always stealing bagels, pizza, whatever. But that's not the point of the story. The point of the story was adoptive kids don't know their place many times for their lifetime. And having worked with teenagers who had been adopted, having helped deliver babies with the birth mothers, going to visit the birth fathers, getting all their medical history, because you never know down the line, say you need a solid organ transplant, that's not going to match with your adoptive parents. You need to know your biological DNA. So it was the first actually in the series of 18 books I was going to write, like Schnuckapug Goes to the Doctor, Schnuckapug Gets on the School Bus, to help children that had anxiety just minimize that. Because there's so much, ever since COVID, particularly with females, the anxiety rate is astronomical. So, but back to the adoptees. Yeah, it is. So I wrote the book in a pretty basic way, because the rule of thumb is that you start to tell the child as soon as the adoptive family gets the child that they are adopted. It should never, ever be a surprise. But there was nothing to kind of, there was no entree into this subject. So one day I decided I'd create that, and I did. And it's a very basic book. It's on Amazon. You can get it on Kindle or whatever, but there's so much more behind what the book says, because I worked with the adoptive parents, the birth parents, and I'm still in touch with the two adoptees that the book is dedicated to.
And who'd you
sometimes adoptions go extraordinarily well.
Who did you dedicate the books to, and why? Who did you dedicate the books to, and why?
I dedicated the book to Johnny Iowanu, who is now 22 years old and is a Penn State graduate. And he is a phenomenal young man. He had the best adoptive parents and the very best birth parents. I'm in touch with all of them. So yes. They call me their angel. I don't think it into the category, but they didn't know I was coming onto the show, but they will when we're finished.
All right, great.
They took such exceptional care of Johnny. And then the other boy is Jimmy Flynn, and he has, but his mother had, his birth mother had a lot more issues going on. I can't get into that, but she had a lot more issues going on. But I was just at his high school graduation party. So, and I'm close to his mother. In fact, she is 1/3 of all adoptions are by single people.
Oh, really?
And I found that to be pretty interesting. I also participated in gay and lesbian adoptions. There were people that refused to do that. I thought I'd like to be adopted by these people. So, I'm not standing back on this at all. And that's opened up a lot more as of late, although each state in the United States has varying laws regarding adoption, which some states you can get a baby in 3 days. In Pennsylvania, it takes up to a year. So Pennsylvania is very conservative regarding the adoption laws, and I prefer it that way. I made every birth mother I had ever with convince me that she would not be taking the baby back. She did have time to make that decision, but the people that were waiting to get the babies had infertility for up to 5 years. So for them to get a baby and then for it to be taken away would have been equal in my mind to a death. So I never had that happen, and I worked very hard that did not happen. So there's a lot of grief involved in the adoption process. The adoptive parents were trying really to conceive. Some reason it didn't. The birth parents want to keep the baby, but for whatever reason they cannot. No say in anything. And
so with your book and stuff
throughout lifetime as a result of
and so it looks like we're having some audio. The audio is starting to drop out. So as we round out the show, what do you want people to know about the book? What do you want people to know? How can they reach out to you? How can they find out more about the work that you do?
Pennsylvania, Nancy Douglas, 2 S's. The Children's Home of Pittsburgh is a phenomenal place. They offer a lot of counseling there for anybody that might be having problems. If you happen to have substance abuse problems, they now have a program at our obstetrium, so they help pregnant addicts in whatever way they can, which I feel is just phenomenally great. And there are no more adoptions from Russia or China, Colombia, and India.
It looks like our audio is dropping. Our audio is dropping really bad, so we need to wrap. So thank you for coming on the show. We really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
There you go. And thanks so much for tuning in. Order the book wherever fine books are sold. You can get it and take advantage of it and all that good stuff. Thanks so much for tuning in. Go to goodreads.com/Chris Voss, LinkedIn.com/Chris Voss, Chris Voss1 on the TikTok, all those crazy places. Be good to each other. Stay safe. We'll see you next time.
You've been listening to the most amazing, intelligent podcast ever made to improve your brain and your life. Warning, consuming too much of the Chris Voss Show podcast can lead to people thinking you're smarter, younger, and irresistible sexy. Consume in regularly moderated amounts. Consult a doctor for any resulting brain bleed.